Welcome to Start Building Me, my nightly training session, short and sweet, to prove to you that consistency is far more important than intensity and duration of your exercise. Basically, folks, you got to exercise every day, love it or hate it. It can be as little as walking or as little as this, and that's pretty much it. But really, your brain needs it as much as your body does. So I'm trying to get you into a healthy habit. Healthy habit, not being unhealthy because it's like eating healthy or whatever. Healthy meaning that you look forward to it and that you enjoy it. That's what makes a solid, good habit, is if you look forward to it. It is the best part of my day, whether it's here online or not, doesn't matter. I like to keep it pretty short though, because I've got other stuff to do, and I'm recording all kinds of videos and content and bits and pieces, so I try to get it in and out of here by 10 or 15 minutes and basically get back on with whatever it is that I'm doing, or hopefully whatever it is that you're doing. The start of the weekend, Friday, congratulations, you've made it through another week. Sometimes they're very fast, sometimes they're slow. For me, they're always lightning fast. The older you get, the quicker they get. So I cannot waste any time. Without further ado, we will start exercising. So folks, you can always warm up, swing your legs out, swing your arms around doing circles, just gently. No reason to force them and really swing your arms around like a madman. Just gentle circles, get the blood pumping through, which is the aim of Start Building Me. Where we are planning just to get the blood flowing through your body, flowing through your blood vessels. Too much sun again today. Let's get busy. That's right, Sally Starjohn. Let's get in the house. Let's not waste further ado. Time is money, but the beauty is here. The price is free, folks. Absolutely nothing apart from your commitment. And as I always got to stress, exercise is important, and you're not cheating anybody if you're not exercising, apart from yourself, folks. So seriously, put in your 10 or 15 minutes. And let's get out of here. I'm watching a documentary. Well, not a documentary. It's a TV series about the Chippendales, a club turned exotic male dancers, with the guy in it from Silicon Valley. Sorry, mate, can't pronounce your name. Does that make me racist? Probably, but what can you do? Anyway, I don't know what I just rubbed in my eye, but it was spicy. So, Keith hates the neighbours, he's going hard at them. What's this, folks? It's called exercise, aka a squat, a compound movement, the most foundational, fundamental exercise that you really need to get mastered. Whether you're sitting down on the edge of your bed, standing back up, sitting down at your desk, standing back up, you've done a squat before, you can do it. How many you do is arbitrary, as I'm always saying here on Start Building Me. You can do 1, you can do 5, you can do sets of 1, you can do sets of 5, sets of 10, you can do them non-stop whilst I'm talking here. Really depends on you, because we're aiming on improving on our performance yesterday. And that's it, really. We're competing against ourselves, folks. We're not competing against a professional athlete. We're not competing against Steve, your next door neighbour. We're not competing against, me, because there's no competition against me. Just joking. I've by the hey Jazz, good to see you in the house. By the time it gets to this stage, this is usually my second or third amount of exercise that I've done in my day, so I don't like to go too hard. I just like to think of it as a bit of an exercise in mobility drills, again, just to get my heart rate up a little bit, sit back down into my heels, weight going to the outside of my feet, drilling my toes into the ground. If I want to keep my back a little bit straighter, I can stand wider and have my back going more perpendicular, meaning a right angle to the ground. But as I'm always saying, unless it's a barbell squat, all the form sticklers can jump in the lake. If you feel like it, your back can come down like this with your head forward. As long as your back isn't rounding out like that, it should be fine. Unless you've got a bad back, don't do it. A lot of people have bad knees, don't do it. If something hurts, do not do it. There is always exercises and variations of exercises you can do if something hurts. I am only training for the rule and not the exception. The rule caters for probably 95% of the world at least, so if you're the exception, I'm truly sorry. I wish I could help you out. Start Building Me will be able to help you out at some stage. But until then, I am working on that 95% of the world that can do this in some shape or form. You're not fooling anyone, Tom. We know it. As I say, I find it quite funny that 90% of the world claim that they're in that 5% of the population that can't do this stuff, folks. Like I said, unfortunately, you're just fooling yourself, because in the grand scheme of things, nobody cares about your health, folks. It sounds harsh, but really, we're doing this to improve our own health. And that's the aim of the game, is to pump blood through our body and improve your health. It's a guarantee in life. It is ridiculous that people try to combat that statement, this sentiment that exercise is somehow just an ancillary part of being alive and only for athletes and people who are vain, you know. I always get this comeback from people for, you know, when I train or when I'm just surfing at the beach or something and I'm quite muscular, and they'll have a, you know, an ad hominem attacking my personality, thinking that I'm vain because I look after myself, folks. There is no more passive-aggressive statement than you can hear from such a bitter, small-minded person than that. We train and we do exercise because it improves how we feel. It improves how positive you are. Unlike those people who exercise a lot stay positive, and they can let that stuff wash off their back like water off a duck. And I say that specifically because I am a big fan of mallard ducks, folks. Up there with dogs, ducks and dogs, the duck and dog, you know which pub is going to be mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shake your legs out, take a break. You don't have to force them out so quickly. You can do them a lot more concentrated, a lot slower, like this. Do a few, take a break. Oh yeah, I'm down with rabbits as well. Can't argue with rabbits. We had rabbits as well, remember, at Boyce. They were good bunnies. Feeling good, definitely the end of the week. Gonna watch some TV, have some vitamins, wrestle with the dogs. Looks like it's a thunderstorm coming in this weekend. I took this week off riding. I've been doing some support and ancillary exercises to strengthen my legs, to improve my endurance on my legs rather than just thrashing out, cycling and depleting my glycogen. I'd rather try and get some muscle mass, because muscle mass is important for losing fat, which is sort of counterintuitive that people don't understand. Your muscles metabolize fat consistently, like ongoingly, whereas if you're doing cardiovascular exercise, it's only doing it whilst you're training. So you really want to make sure you've got muscle mass. If you're trying to burn fat, folks, it will make it 10 times easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason I suggest walking as well, folks, is walking is another great way to lose fat. Walking is such low intensity that you're more likely going to engage the fat, your lipid cells, so to burn as energy. The more you train for broke, you know, stuff like cycling and sprinting, you're going to use stuff like adenine triphosphate or glycogen, which are more readily available, quicker to access. So if you want to have a great exercise, low impact, the one that I recommend on a daily basis, folks, you cannot beat walking. Walking is amazing. Get outside, get some vitamin D, get some fresh air. Think, you know, like that Terence McKenna quote, don't consume, you know, other people's garbage, you know. Think of your own garbage. No, think about, you know, what's going on in your head. Think about what you need to do to increase your own capacity and to improve your well-being. That frog is back. He's signing a death warrant. He's a death warrant, death wish, whatever it is, he's signing it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want to keep my legs skinny, so I'm doing high repetition, high volume, like German volume training, but with increased repetition. People, it seems like big legs these days are the flavor du jour, but I pose it to you this way, folks. Unless you're a rugby player or a bodybuilder, there's probably not a hell of a lot of point on having massive legs. If you're looking like a marathon runner, don't have big legs and they can run 42 kilometers running at, 4.5 minute miles. So, if you want to have big legs that rub together, like George Costanza with his swishy suit, by all means, go for it. If you want to have dainty, elegant pins like me, high repetition, high sets, and restricted diet, and you'll find any of those big-legged, big dump truck dudes at the gym, they'll have trouble catching me. If there was ever an altercation, I would be away in 5 minutes. 11 minutes on the clock, 5 more, do some push-ups, let's get out of here. Wherever you are in the world, live or watching this on repeat, I hope you had a good week, I hope you're going to have a good weekend, and I really mean that. There needs to be more positivity in the world, folks. There are many good people out there in my experience and my travels in the world, and there are very few Machiavellian dunces that seem to be occupying social media, government, businesses, etc. So please don't believe that those people make up the majority. That they certainly don't. We make up the majority, and we're positive and easygoing folks. So if you want to stay on my good side, exercise. Just joking. But seriously, stay positive. From one day to another, the gutter to the stars, as I always say. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've just pumped a hell of a lot of body around our blood. God, I hope not. Blood around our body. Folks, I've had too much sun. Throwing the Kong in the sun with Keith. Keith's got mad new skills where I can throw his Kong like Joe Madden and he goes long and catches it out of the air, which is awesome. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. Maybe I should watch some South Park. I haven't seen any of the new South Parks. Maybe I should fix up my Madden here. That would probably be the more sensible thing. Something professional to do. Anyway, you might know what a push-up is. There are many variations. If you cannot do a strict push-up and you've got busted shoulders, you can just walk a little bit of weight out over your shoulders. Maybe shift it side to side a bit. Get a little bit of blood pumped into the top of your body. If you can move beyond that, you can walk your arms further out and do push-ups like that off your knees. People might have a dig at you and say, oh, they're not real push-ups. Well, look, folks, it looks like I'm pushing myself off the ground. So, like I said, there's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be what the kids call haters, whatever they're called. They're negative Nellies. Looks like we've got a negative Nelly in Sector 7G. Anyway, let's crank out some push-ups. Tense your butt. Take a breather. I'm going to sit down on the couch with my percussive massager and absolutely annihilate my quadriceps, my gluteals, and my hamstrings before doing a leg day tomorrow. Always fun and games. Rattle everything loose. Snake, rattle and roll. If anybody remembers the old NES game, or was it Super NES? Cannot remember. But ultimately breathe, folks. Breathing is important. Breathing is what a lot of people forget when they're exercising. You will be so much more proficient if you breathe. 15 minutes on the clock. I'll kick back, have a bit of a breathe for a second. A few more minutes on the clock and let's get out of here. What do you reckon? Friday night. Hope you guys are going to watch something cool, play something cool. I'm just setting up my diet for the rebuild series, for the start of it after I've tested it. And interestingly for you, Sal, I was going to keep it under the 20 grams of carbohydrates as recommended to keep yourself in ketosis. However, I have found it far more effective if I have a banana and some sugar in my protein. Well, it's not really sugar added to my protein, it's just a byproduct of the whey protein concentrate manufacturing process that would give you like 7 or 8 grams per 100 grams, meaning so that's 14 grams per shake of carbohydrates, and 20 grams are from a single banana that I break in half between 2 shakes. So that's making like, let's see, 36, 40 grams of sugar per day, which is still very low. And by sugar, it's, you know, mainly carbohydrates, not really sugar at all. And I find with that, it makes the recovery a lot easier. And so something that is probably going to be more sustainable over the 3-month period without me whinging to you guys every night on here and me all glitching out and dizzy from not having enough sugar. Because one thing's for sure, I'm not going to tone back my exercise. You guys know me, there's no half measures. There's not going to be, oh, I've done my 60 minutes at the gym. Like if I run over, and that's the way I've always been, and I enjoy it. It relaxes me, it makes me feel good. So I'd rather wake up the next morning and not feel all gronked out and burnt. So I think, you know, keeping it to 30 to 40 grams of carbohydrates a day just to aid with recovery is fine. As a result, you're like, whatever it is, 0.7 mmol ketones. So whatever the sort of unit is, how many ketones per micromilliliter or some garbage like that. Ideally you want between 1 and 3, but if I have that amount of sugar, it's at 0.7, which is still in ketosis. So I might start with a low ketosis. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've been reading a lot. Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's just the way it works is that fat, you do get the energy of fat, but the conversion of it is so slow that it's not really ideal for high intensity stuff, which will inevitably be part of my workouts. So you want just a little bit in there as a backup in case you do go from, say, a nice gradual ride, but then there's some big ass hill. As soon as you get to that hill and you're on fat reserves, normally it would be a nightmare. But if you've just got that bit of sugar in your system, it will give you just enough that you need to get up that hill without, you know, without totally feeling destroyed from only getting your energy from fat. So it's always going to be tinkered with, which is why I'm glad I've had 4 weeks to do that now. And I think I've pretty much got it down to that. A banana and 2 proteins a day with, sort of like I said, adding up to about 36 to 40 grams of sugar per day. Yeah, well, I mean, so am I now when I've seen, you know, I always used to think sugar was just like the energy that you need for training, whereas really it's the energy you get to recover after the training. That's where I really notice a difference now. So I tested it out. And so consistently I was doing heavy weights and waking up the next morning feeling gronked. And one night I just had, you know, heaps and heaps of protein with the carbohydrates in it and a banana, and woke up feeling 100% fine. So I'm just like, okay, I'd say that's a pretty fair amount of sugar to have per day to make it like the difference between heaven and hell. Anyway, folks, I'm going to bust out 10 more and that will put us at the 20-minute count. Let's get out of here. Have a good weekend. I might train tomorrow or Sunday on here. I'll let you know if I'm up for it. One way or the other, as you guys well know, I'm like Whistling Pete on The Simpsons. I will train one way or the other, but whether or not I'll be here Like I said, I'll let you guys know, or hit me up on social media if you're desperate for a train. I'll always be here. Spread your fingers, tense your butt, dig your feet in, believe in the Hulk Hogan. What did he used to say? Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and believe in Hulk Hogan. Man, from what I heard, that guy can't walk anymore. He just had back surgery and they messed up something and he lost feeling to his legs. Horrible. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Done and dusted. Cheers, lads. Take it easy. Maybe some Counter-Strike at some stage, Jazz. If not tonight, during the weekend. Love you all. Have a good night.